Charlesbridge has been publishing for now 30 years. We're in our 31st year as a publisher. But our first commitment is to our people. And so we have a very high proportion of our staff who have been with us for 10, 20 years. Probably 75% of them have been here over 10 years. And close to 50% have been here 15 or 20 years. Out of a staff of approaching 30 people, probably 30 people now that we've added Charlie and Jeremy. In acquiring Imagine, we've acquired 2 industry professionals with probably 50 years of combined experience in publishing. The Imagine product line complements the Charlesbridge product line with high-quality children's books that reinforce our children's book line, and with general trade books that take us in a new direction.
I actually started in publishing 40 years ago in the mailroom of a publishing company called Frederick Fell, and that's the way everybody started in those days. So there was no training, no college education that could help it. I mean, I was college graduated, and we learned by doing. My son and I had retired and was happily going to travel with my wife and enjoy life until she said she married me for better or worse, but not for lunch, which old joke. What we decided to do is Jeremy wanted to start up a publishing company. I loved working with him. He worked for me for 15 years at Sterling, and we decided we would just simply create a small entrepreneurial publishing company like we were in the early days of Sterling, and as we grew, we stayed entrepreneurial till we sold it to a corporation. The whole process of publishing, for me, much like you said, is about touching and feeling a book and talking to the author and talking to the illustrator. You don't get to do that when you get too big. So we started this company, and we realized that we really needed to be part of a company and not just on our own. It was an enormous amount of work that neither one of us does well, the infrastructure, and we needed people who cared about the books like we care about them.
The first thing I'm doing is reading manuscripts and selecting them for acquisition. And we get about 4,000 manuscripts submitted to us a year. We are a smaller independent company, so as such we really believe in finding new talent and keeping our doors open to new submissions. So a lot of publishers maybe would only look at agent books. We're looking at everything, so that means we get a ton of manuscripts coming in the door, so weeding through them takes some time. Then when we find something we like, we need to develop it a little bit, take it through the contract process, find an illustrator, work on the sketches, put it all together with the designers, and then go through the production phases, which is kind of how do you translate this art into a finished product, and really looking at the picture book, because we do primarily picture books, as a real work of art. Every choice that we make on that, the paper quality, the trim size, the fonts, it all reflects on the final product, the book. And it's a real art form and something that I find just endlessly fascinating. I think I learned at an early age just that books could be an entryway into another world, another place. So that was always really important. I'm also an older child, so older sibling, and I was very bossy, and I would always make my sister diagram sentences, and even when she was in kindergarten, whatever I was learning in school, and then I'd correct her papers and give her scores and stuff. So I was definitely born to be an editor.
The story isn't going to be much different. I also misbehaved as a child, reading under the covers well past my bedtime. And books for me have been, I think I've seen them as a pathway to literacy and a pathway to other worlds.
I grew up with a culture of books. My family, going back a number of generations, always believed in books, and we were kind of required reading growing up, and I loved, I read under the covers. I wore out a lot of batteries before there were the batteries that lasted, because books transport you. They give you a chance to be somebody or be something that you can't be, and maybe never will be, or that you dream about being. So I just think that books are very, very special.